Hi guys, welcome along to my personal mental health and menopausal journey. It hasn't been a good one so far, to say the least. And obviously if you've stumbled across this channel, you're probably feeling the same way as I am. If you look at my previous videos, I do talk about different things and, different things about mental health and different things about symptoms and different things. And some of them can be quite raw and very, very triggering. So just be aware of that if you do decide to have a look at any of the videos. There is a couple there where I'm having a physical and mental breakdown. I've recorded it all, didn't know if I should put it out there, but decided I was going to help other women. But I need your help on this one. I'm going to go through a little story of a symptom that I've had way before menopause, but it's been exaggerated thanks to menopause, and I just want to know if any other women suffer this. Now, I've kind of done a lot of research and I've done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of research. I don't claim to be a doctor. I don't claim to be anything medical. All I claim to be is a very, very, very lost and desperate woman who is searching for answers to make me at least feel normal, whatever that word may be. So, this very strange symptom started probably about 13, 14 years ago. And whenever I was due a period, probably about 3 days beforehand, I would get a pain. Now, 1 month it would be in this side, and then the following month it would be that side, and it would alternate. It would alternate itself every month, okay? And I couldn't quite understand where it was all coming from, but I would have it for about 3 days, and 2 of those days it would be so painful, but then it would go, and then I would forget about it, not bother doing anything about it, and then it would rear its ugly head the following month on the opposite side. So I had a hysterectomy when I was 42, I think it was, and I'm now 51. But this happened way before any hysterectomy, and way before the menopause. But again, I just thought, I'm not gonna say anything because it's a bit strange, and I've never ever heard anybody else talk about this kind of symptom. So I just shut up, like most women do. I just suffered in silence. And then anyway, after a few years, I was starting to get endometriosis. It was starting to get quite painful. I'd get really, every month I'd get the most horrific pains through my tummy, running down my hips and down my legs. And my surgeon took the decision of, he thought the best thing was to have a hysterectomy. Wasn't a full hysterectomy. They did leave my ovaries in. He decided to do that because he didn't want to put me in surgical menopause. He wanted, his exact words, bless him, were, if we take your ovaries away now, you will age overnight. That was kind of his words. And that scared the living bejeebers out of me, especially a woman who at the time really took care of herself and, was very into my appearance and things like that. Menopause has took that away from me now. I'm turning into this kind of old, dreary woman who doesn't care about herself, but that's a different video. So when I was going for my consultations just before the menopause, I mentioned this pain, and I said, I get this horrific pain here or here. I can either come across there or go down here. And my surgeon, now this is no disrespect because he's male, my surgeon was a man, and fantastic surgeon. He really looked after me, and what a lovely, lovely gentleman he was. But when I mentioned this to him, he said, no, can't have anything to do with your reproductive system. It must be something else. Go to your GP, once you've had your operation. And I thought about what he said, and I thought, no, listen, and I'm not going to sit there and argue with the top surgeon, do you know what I mean, and say, no, I think you're wrong. But I did. I honestly thought, and nobody knows their body better than that particular person. And I thought, no, this is too much of a coincidence. This happens 3 to 4 days before I have a period. It's got to have something to do with it. But, being a good girl and just doing as I was told, kind of never thought anything of it. And had the hysterectomy, and for the first few months, everything hunky-dory. And but then the pain started coming back. So I was at my doctor's about 8 months later, and I just happened to mention it to her. I was there about, about something else. And because I was kind of having the pain at the time, I mentioned it, and she kind of just said, look, it's difficult for male, professors and surgeons and things like that to be able to physically feel these pains, because obviously they don't get them. So they go off a textbook, so they go off like a checklist, and that can happen, and that can happen, and that can happen, and hot flushes can happen, and this can happen, and that can happen. They don't go, into unusual symptoms because they don't understand them, which I totally get. So I mentioned it, like I say, to my daughter, who was a female, and she said it could be that when my ovaries are releasing an egg, basically might be sitting on a nerve. So that was fine, made sense, great, no worries. However, see, I've got it now, and it's really, really sore. However, it started to get worse every month, this pain, and I take, inflammatory things for it and stuff like that. And I have to just wait it out, and then it goes itself after 2 or 3 days. But it can get to a point where it is very debilitating, because I can't take a deep breath in, and how it feels is, it almost feels like I've got a pulled muscle here, which is kind of protruding through to the back of my shoulder blade. And it's just difficult to move. I feel like if I move my neck, there you go, see, it tweaks something here, and it really, really just, it's not just like an ache, it's a full-on pain. So, and like I say, taking deep breaths, I struggle with it. And like I say, it alternates, can't say that word, every month. Now, I would say about 7 months ago, I developed, now I'll just show you here, you can't really see it, but at the end of my collarbone, I developed what felt like a very, very smooth, rounded bone with sponge around it. And when I get this pain on this side, see, it's going there. When I get the pain on this side, this tends to come up like a lump, and it's very sore to touch. This side, I don't get any physical lumps, but when they did a scan on here, they said I had a little bit of arthritis and a little bit of tissue around it, and that's obviously what's inflaming. So I wanted to know, does anybody else get this symptom? I've had a look online, and I've done all the research, and I can't see any information about it. Obviously, I've done lots and lots and lots of research, and I know that when we're going through the perimenopause and what have you, our receptors, it's like an inflammatory, and we need the estrogen to calm the inflammatory side things down. Obviously, if I haven't got that now, or as much estrogen, maybe that's what's triggering it. I don't know, but I'd love it if somebody could comment in the comments if they get it, and if they do get it, have they spoken to their doctor about it? What has their doctor said? I'm really, really intrigued. Now, as I said, I'm going through the perimenopause, and it kind of does make sense. Now, obviously, 3 stages. There's 3 stages of kind of a woman getting older. So there's the perimenopause, which I hate. That's what I'm going through at the minute. And it's not just your average symptoms of hot flushes and night sweats and broken sleep. I mean, I have hundreds of crazy symptoms that really have become so debilitating in my life that I've had to go on sick from work. I can't leave my front door. You will see other videos on this channel of me having like real-time live meltdowns and panic attacks, and it's very, very triggering to watch. So if that's not for you, I wouldn't click on them, because it is awful to see a human being so desperate and so low. That's the only way I can describe some of the videos. So just be careful if you have just stumbled across this channel, you do decide to see what it's all about. Some of them are not nice to watch and are very, very uncomfortable watch. So yeah, so so obviously I've done a lot of research, and I don't claim to be a doctor. I'm not a doctor. I'm not medically trained in the slightest. All I do with this channel is I know what my journey and my symptoms are like, and I go and research them, and then I relay it back to you. That's basically what this is all about. So yeah, I'm very, very interested to see if anybody gets this. Now, obviously so the 3 stages, you've got the perimenopause, which is kind of the lead up to the menopause. Now the menopause, if it's kind of like this, the actual menopause, from what I can gather from the research, is the peri's kind of gearing you up for the menopause. And then if you go 12 months without a period, no spotting, no kind of little bit here and there, it's like 12 months, nothing, then you're then out of the menopause and you're into post-menopause. And post-menopause is the rest of your life, basically, for a woman. So I still think I'm in the perimenopause. Now, it's very difficult for me to tell because obviously I don't have monthly cycles anymore. My ovaries are there, they still release the eggs, but I don't have a flow. I don't have a period because I haven't got a uterus or a womb to do so. Now, this is how, at the moment, I'm gauging if I'm still in perimenopause, is these pains here. Because in my head, and I might be totally wrong, if there's any doctors out there who can either, dispute this or kind of confirm this, I would love that, is I got a pain in this side about 2 or 3 months ago, my normal 3 days pain thing. Then I didn't get anything for a couple of months, and then I've got this side here again. So am I right in thinking that this is the stage of where, now in perimenopause, you will usually start kind of having missed periods, heavier periods, lighter periods, just erratic and not normal for you periods. So I'm kind of gauging that by this. And they say that the average age to go into menopause, not peri and not post, but menopause is actually 51, which I am bang on. That is me. But I still think because of these pains and because of my mental health, I may still be in the perimenopause. But I would love, love, love some advice from anybody out there who, like I say, is medically trained and knows about this, or has this symptom. Now, I relay my symptoms to you, not for you to fix them and not for me to fix yours. I just relay my symptoms out there because I want other women to know that they're not alone, that this isn't just them being strange, this isn't them being weird, because once you start thinking like that, that then adds on to all the mental health, which I have suffered really badly with. So yeah, that's this video is me begging you guys just to give me a little bit of reassurance that I ain't the only one, and that this can be a thing. Before I went through the menopause, I didn't know you'd develop anxiety. I didn't know you could develop itchy skin. I didn't know you could develop these stabbing pains. I didn't know you could develop. So I could sit here and reel them off all day of what I get. And unfortunately, I think they say is it 1 in 25 women who get it like horrific, where it's life changing. I mean, other people who are going through menopause, some people sail through it, some people go through it and it is uncomfortable, but they can still manage their day-to-day activities. I can't. This morning, for instance, I didn't think I was going to be able to do this video because I felt so low. I couldn't be bothered with myself. And then a couple of hours later, I started like picking up a little bit. And I thought, right, come on, do a video and get it out there, because I don't know what I'm going to be like tonight. I don't know what I'm going to be like tomorrow. That is the awful thing about menopause. You do not know what you are going to be like from 1 minute to the next. It's a little bit like, And this is another thing I've noticed as well, is it's all kind of linked. So a lot of the feelings I got when I was pregnant, which was many moons ago, the last time I was pregnant was what, 20, how old's my daughter's coming up 27, so 27 years ago. And but a lot of those kind of hormonal symptoms do come back in your menopausal years. I tell you what, it's hard being a woman. It really is hard being a woman. So yeah, I am just putting it out there. Does anybody else get these pains here and in that kind of collarbone and just below, and alternates? I don't know why I keep saying that word. Alternates each side every month. It would be great to know I'm not a freak. It would be great to know I'm not alone in this. And speaking of not alone, you guys aren't alone either. I am, like I say, I'm doing lots of different videos, very raw videos, very emotional videos, and I've had a lot of messages from ladies who are so grateful that I'm putting my vulnerability out there. Because I'm putting my vulnerability out there, it's making other ladies feel they're not alone in this. I had a beautiful message of a lovely girl who I would never say names or anything like that, because that's not my story to tell. However, she is so grateful that I am doing this, because it's almost like reassurance that you're not alone. So please comment. What I'm going to end the video with is up yours menopause, like I always do, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Thanks guys, bye.